right, everybody, welcome back. Got a deep dive today on a teaser, well, a lure. I like to run a teaser, but a lure that is one of my top favorite Blue Marlin baits out there. The Moyes Sumo. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about positioning, running it, put a hook in, don't put a hook in it, whatever. But this is a bait that has done extremely well for me, specifically this last season in Kona, and I'm a big fan. Let's talk about it. Now it's a shape. This shape is a couple other lure makers do make a shape similar to this. Marlin makes one similar. A couple other guys make some similar. I mean, it is a shape that is known in the industry, so it has been made. The one Andy's making, the Sumo one, seems to be really good. It does have a Grander to its name. There's been a Grander called on it, and yeah, it's badass. So let's talk about it and dive in. All right, so I've been running it as a teaser, and I've been running it on the long corner. I don't put a hook in it, and basically I've had fish just crash all over it and follow it to the back of the boat so we can get a pitch bait in front of it. So what I found with this lure, it has so much action, but it's not all over the place. It's got a pretty tight wiggle and a real pop and a push. It's got all the movements that you would see. Like, you put this thing in the water and you start looking at it and you'll basically know, like, oh, that thing's gonna get lit up. You could definitely put a hook in it. It's not too aggressive to not have a hook in it. But I prefer to run it as a teaser. I like it on the long corner. You could run it on the short corner for sure, but I do like how in the long corner it's got a little bit of belly more in the line instead of the pull, right? So we've talked about in other videos about the pull of the line coming out of the lure head up to your rigger, right? So here's our rigger out here, the angle. So as you get closer, the angle is going to be steeper. As you go farther back, the angle is going to be leveled out more and longer, right? So I like having a little less angle on it out there to allow it to kind of get down in that water and do its dig and pop. So if you are going to run it up on the short corner, you can. I probably wouldn't. I mean, you could run it flat. I'm not a huge fan of running stuff flat right there close, because it's just going to get in that whitewash. And I know they can see it in the whitewash, but my thoughts on the bites when lures are up in that whitewater, I just don't feel like you get the best hookup rate because of the way that they're feeding in that whitewash. I like it, and the cleaner the water, the better. So with that being said, yeah, if you are going to pull it up on the short corner, fiddle with it a little bit, and you may have to run it just a little bit lower down to get your angle in, but my choice on this is actually long corner. And yeah, it's basically, you know, it's got a lot of movement, it's got a lot of wiggle to it. If you are going to put a hook in it and you're going to have just a cable in it, just cable, just be wary. If it moves so much, you'll probably wiggle hooks off your cable over time if it's not full heat shrinked. The cable will, over time doing this, it'll start to kind of wear and tear. So make sure if you're pulling a hook in one of these, that every day before you put it out, just check and you're only using cable, you're not using cable with heat shrink over it. If you're just using raw cable, just check that rig every day before you leave and bend it. And if you hear any crackling or you see any strands coming undone, cut that rig off and put a new one on, because it will wiggle free, and you don't want to lose a big fish that way, because it is such an erratic and aggressive lure. So you're going to get definitely some pretty heavy movement, fish wiggles on it, and a pretty big pop and push. And then it'll go down and do its dive, pop, and push. And I think just the vibrations and the movement, everything about it, it is a fish raiser, and they are all about it. So it is a lure that I'm a huge fan of. I like how Andy has these big eyes in it. I think that helps. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but I like it. It looks cool. But yeah, this is one to pull. Put a hook in it if you want. Run it as a teaser, either or. It's gonna get bit. Big fan of it. I'll put 530 in it all day long. I wouldn't go with a light leader, even if you're just running it as a teaser, or if you're, whatever. Big fish, small fish, I've had really little ones pile on it. I've had big ones pile on it. I believe that it is all weather for the most part. You're gonna be able to pull it in the rough. It's gonna pull really good in the calm. It's gonna pull really good in the rough. I mean, just a fantastic lure. Big fan. We get quite a few of these on GZ, so jump on there, keep an eye on it, and if you're on the elite program, you'll get dibs on some pretty special colors. And yeah, go get it out there, see what you can find. Raise a big one for me. All right.